When I made the video that you are about to see, I did not realize that when I made it into a movie that it was going to cut off my head. When I made the video, my head was on the screen. But when I turned it into a movie, it cut off my head. So you only see about this much. You only see like from my nose down. So sorry, but I wasn't going to redo the whole craft project, science project again. So enjoy. Hey, we're gonna do a science experiment, kind of, but it'll turn into an art project that I think that y'all will like. Earlier today, I read a book. It was called The Little Red Hen, and she gathered all of these things to make bread. Well, one of those things, her main ingredient was flour, and that's our main ingredient is flour for this little art project. So you need some flour, and it doesn't matter what kind of flour. You can have the all-purpose flour or self-rising flour. It makes no difference. You need some water, and you need some salt. So you need mostly flour, though. You take a little measuring cup. I'm going to move these things out of the way. You take a measuring cup, and you have to measure 2 cups. So I have 1 cup, and now I have 2 cups, and now I need some salt, and I need a lot of salt. You wouldn't think that there's a whole cup full of salt, and it takes a while to pour, so you just have to wait a minute. You're gonna need your mama, daddy, grandma, granddaddy, somebody's help with this, so make sure that, okay, now I have a, so make sure that you have a grown-up's help with this. You don't have to cook or anything, but still just measure, and you need to make sure you have help. And then I have 1 cup of salt. Okay, now you're gonna take your hand and you are going to mix the salt and the flour. Just gonna mix it up just a little bit, and then, now I have a little bit of a white hand. Then you're gonna need 1 cup of water. So I'm gonna fill up my measuring cup with, and it doesn't need to be hot water, just maybe a little warm, because it helps to mix better. So then you just pour the water in, and you're gonna start mixing. And you're gonna start mixing. And it's gonna make dough, just like the Little Red Hen made. But your dough, you don't wanna eat it. If any of you remember, I think we made some dough like this back during Christmas, and we made gingerbread men out of it. But anyway, you have to mix, and you have to mix, and you have to mix, and it gets really, really sticky, like this. You see it's stuck all to my hands, but you just have to mix and mix and mix. And sooner or later, it's not going to be that sticky anymore, and it's not going to stick to your hands. Now, if it is too sticky and it just won't stop sticking to your hands, you can always add just a little bit of flour, and then it'll make it. Oh, it is already coming together and not so sticky anymore. See, it's kind of coming. So if you just mix and mix and mix, then you'll have some dough to play around with. And I'll show you in a second when I get ready what you can do with your dough. Okay, so I got my dough all ready. I had to add a little bit more flour because it was still just really soft and just a little bit sticky. So you can just a little bit of salt, it's flour at a time, and mush it up. And if it's still too sticky and still too soft, just add a little bit until it feels nice and squishy, kind of like Play-Doh. And it doesn't, like once you do this, it doesn't really stick to your hands all that much. Maybe just a little bit. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is, you can do all sorts of stuff. I saw some things online that they made they rolled it in their hands like this, and then they made a ball. They flattened the ball, so they had a little pancake, kind of like a little pancake. And they took little toys like there were dinosaurs. You could take any kind of little toy that would fit right here and make an imprint. Press it down a little bit and make an impression of it. I, however, decided I was going to make my name. So, to make letters, you kind of have to, let me see if I can adjust this a little bit. There you go. To make letters, you kind of have to make a snake first, like this. So take your dough and roll it like this. And so y'all know that I like a J with a top. So here is my J with a top. I think I got that in there. J with a top. So I've got to do my other, whoops, sorry about that. Got to do my other J. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my dough, squeeze it, put it down, and I'm just going to start rolling, making a long snake. You can do your whole name this way. You can do your name. You can do the first letter of your name. You can do the first letter of your mama's name, your daddy's name, your brother, your cousin, whoever. And then here's my other J. It's a little bit too long for my top. I like my top, so there we go. There's my name, JJ. So you can do that with your name. You can do all of the letters. Since I have just two J's, you could do all the letters. You can make an A, you can make B, you can make any letter you need to for your name. So that's our dough art project science experiment. If you want to try that at home, get help first. Be the little red hen. Go get your flour and then get your other ingredients, and you can work with this at your house. I told you that you don't have to bake, you don't have to use the oven, and you don't have to. You can keep your dough squishy and you can play with it and you can make all sorts of different things. However, you can bake them. And here are the directions if you want to bake your dough and make something that'll last for a really long time. Once you make whatever it is you want to make, whether you want to make a little circle and make an impression of a toy, or you want to make your name, or maybe just the first letter of your name, whatever you want to do with yours, you can bake it and make it really, really hard so it won't be all squishy dough. You put it in the oven at about 300 degrees. So you definitely need a grown-up for this one. They have to turn on the oven for you, but you have to leave it in there for a long time so all of the water kind of cooks out of it and it makes it really, really hard. I probably 45 minutes to an hour, and I just keep a check on it to see if it's, first of all, if it's hard, or if it's kind of starting to turn brown. It's done. You really don't want it to turn brown. So anyway, that's one way you can keep your flour dough letter or your flour dough whatever for a long, long time. It'll be all nice and hard.